Menorca's harbor shimmers beneath a pale silver moon. The water softly ripples like silk, carrying reflections that stretch towards you as though inviting you to step inside the night itself. The air is warm, but touched with a sea-cooled breeze, carrying the faint scent of salt and wild herbs from the island's cliffs. And as you stand there at the edge of the old stone quay, you sense that something beautiful, something quietly magical, is waiting just beyond the horizon of this moment. Before we begin, find a place where you can rest. Let your body sink into comfort. Tonight, I'll take you on a quiet journey to a place where only peace waits for you. Put on your headphones if you can, and stay with me until the very end, as each word will guide you deeper into the night. If you'd like, share in the comments where you are listening from and the time on the clock where you are now, so that others traveling with Nightfall Travels may feel that they are not alone, but part of a gentle worldwide drift towards sleep. The harbor holds its breath with you, the boats rocking in a rhythm older than memory. The soft creak of wood and the gentle tap of ropes against masts are like a lullaby. Each sound, each glimmer on the water feels like a message meant just for you, and though you don't yet know what it will say, you feel drawn to listen. This is where your night's journey begins, here under Menorca's moonlit sky, with the quiet promise that dreams are already on their way to you. A recurring motif will travel with you tonight, the scent of rosemary carried on the night air. At first it is faint, like a memory just forming. But with each step into Menorca's story, it will deepen, shift, and reveal new shades of meaning until finally it will belong to you as much as the dreams it carries. You breathe in slowly. The rosemary mingles with the salt air, clear and soothing. And as you exhale, your shoulders loosen, your chest softens, and you feel your body settling into a gentle sway as if the sea itself is rocking you. Around you, the harbor town of Mahón stretches in warm golden lamplight. Narrow alleys winding upward into the night, whitewashed walls catching the moon. You hear faint footsteps echoing on old cobblestones, as if the town itself hasn't yet gone to sleep. The echoes fade and silence folds back around you, more tender than any blanket. The rosemary returns sharper this time, carried by a breeze that sweeps down from the hillside terraces. You imagine small clay pots outside, quiet homes, each one holding herbs tended by hand, their fragrance carried down to meet the sea. You wonder if the people sleeping behind those walls know how far their gardens travel, how their simple care becomes part of the harbor's song. You close your eyes for a moment and sway with the harbor's rhythm. The ropes, the creaks, the hush of water against stone. And when you open them again, the moon is higher and its light seems to shine just for you. The path ahead calls, though you're not yet sure where it leads. Only that each step will bring you deeper into stillness. And so, with one last breath of rosemary, you turn from the quay and follow the narrow street into Menorca's night, where the story continues to unfold. You move slowly away from the quay, your footsteps light against the ancient cobblestones, their cool surface echoing softly beneath you. The harbor's lullaby fades into the background, replaced by the hushed whispers of the town at night. It feels as though Menorca is breathing with you, each inhale filled with the scent of the sea, each exhale wrapped in rosemary and stone. The narrow street leads upward, flanked by whitewashed houses, whose walls gleam pale under the moonlight. The plaster holds centuries of sun, and even now, in the night, you feel a faint warmth radiating from them as you brush your hand gently along their surface. Your fingertips trail across history itself, smoothed by time, by wind, by countless lives that pass through this same street. Somewhere above, a wooden shutter swings open with a faint creak. A window box spills green leaves, and the delicate scent of rosemary again drifts downward. But now it carries something new, a sweetness almost like honey left in the sun. You pause, breathing it in, and realize how scents can change in the stillness, how a single fragrance can hold many worlds inside it. You keep walking, and the street narrows until it feels like you're moving through a dream corridor. Lanterns hang overhead, their glass glowing amber, and each one hums faintly as moths circle around the light. You think of fireflies on a summer porch back home, the way they blinked and hovered in the dusk, small sparks against the dark. That same comfort, that same childhood wonder settles into you now, here in Menorca's timeless alley. The night is quiet, yet alive. You hear a cat's soft paws on the stones, then see its shadow slink across the path before disappearing into a garden. The faint splash of water reaches you from a hidden courtyard, and with it, a chill in the air that brushes your skin like cool silk. You breathe deeply, letting the contrast soothe you. Warmth from the walls, coolness from the fountain, your body settling into balance between them. As you climb higher, the breeze grows stronger and the rosemary motif returns. This time, sharp and herbal cleansing like fresh pine. It clears your thoughts as though sweeping away the dust of the day, leaving only stillness behind. You find yourself smiling at the simplicity of it, an herb, a fragrance, a moment. Yet it feels like a key opening something inside you. The alley opens suddenly onto a small plaza. A single olive tree stands in the center, its silvery leaves shimmering in the moonlight, the trunk thick and twisted with age. The roots push against the stones as though reminding the village that nature and time are inseparable. You walk closer, laying your hand on the bark, rough yet grounding. The rosemary drifts again, this time mingled with the subtle sweetness of the olives ripening on their branches. You sit on a worn bench beneath the tree, the stone cool beneath you, the air alive with layered scents, rosemary, olive, salt, and the faint dust of earth. You close your eyes, inhale slowly, and let your shoulders fall even further. The bench cradles you like an old friend, the plaza around you, hushed like a sanctuary. And as you sit there, you sense the plaza holds more than silence. It holds memory stories, voices that once lingered under this same tree. You imagine travelers resting here centuries ago, merchants, sailors, dreamers like you. The tree has listened to them, all its leaves catching whispers in the breeze and carrying them into the night. You lean back, feeling yourself a part of this long line of wanderers. Your breath aligns with the tree's stillness, your heart with the slow rhythm of the island. And when you open your eyes again, the moon has shifted, casting a soft silver path toward the next street that beckons. You rise, leaving the plaza behind, carrying with you the rosemary, now joined with olive sea and stone, a fragrance that grows richer with every step. Ahead lies a path upward toward a view that waits just beyond the rooftops. And so you follow the moonlit lane, ready to see what Menorca reveals next. The lane narrows again, sloping upward with each careful step. The stones are smoother here, worn to a gentle polish by centuries of feet passing this way. Your body moves slowly each rise of the hill, a soft stretch, your breath steady and unhurried. And with every inhalation, the fragrance of rosemary drifts back to you, layered now with the faint sweetness of blooming jasmine that lingers in the warm air. As you climb, the houses thin out their whitewashed walls, replaced by small terraces edged with low stone walls. Beyond them, you glimpse slivers of the sea glowing silver under the moonlight. The sound of the harbor returns, not close now, but distant, a soft reminder of where you began. The water's hush rising like a lullaby carried on the wind. At last, the path leads you onto a wide terrace overlooking the town. You pause, letting your gaze fall across the rooftops below, each one pale and square, their tiles softened by moonlight, their chimneys like watchful sentinels. Beyond them, the harbor curves, gently holding its crescent of light. The boats rest motionless, their masts like brushstrokes against the night sky. You breathe deeply, the rosemary motif returning, but now it feels different. less sharp, more expansive, as if the scent itself has taken on the openness of the view before you. It carries a coolness mingling with the salt air, refreshing and spacious. And you feel your chest open as if the island is teaching you how to breathe in a wider way. Standing here, the night feels boundless. The stars scatter above you, clear and steady. You pick out constellations, their ancient shapes, quietly traced across the Mediterranean sky. For a moment, you think of summer nights back home, lying on the grass and pointing upward, naming stars with a friend or family member. The nostalgia settles gently, not heavy but tender, reminding you of how small comforts travel with us no matter the distance. From below, a sound rises, the faint notes of a guitar played somewhere in the town. The melody drifts upward like smoke, slow and wistful, each note dissolving into the night. It blends with the rosemary drifting from a nearby garden, wrapping the air in music and fragrance, a harmony both seen and unseen. You sit on the terrace's low wall, letting your legs dangle. The stone beneath you is still warm from the day's sun, holding a gentle heat that seeps into your body. It steadies you, grounding you in the present, even as your thoughts drift like the boats below. Nearby, you notice a clay pot resting on the wall. Inside, a rosemary plant grows tall, its stems reaching upward, as though they too long for the stars. You touch one, gently, feeling the small, needle-like leaves, their resilience, their quiet strength. When you lift your fingers, the scent is stronger, earthy, comforting, almost like a secret, whispered just for you. You close your eyes, bringing your hand near your face. Breathing in slowly, letting the rosemary fill you from within. And as you exhale, you feel your body sinking further into stillness. The kind of calm that comes when you are both safe and surrounded by beauty. The music fades, the night deepens, and you realize that here on this terrace, time feels suspended. The moonlight, the sea, the stars, the scent, they all blend into one moment, vast and unbroken. And then gently the breeze shifts, carrying with it a new fragrance, faint but unmistakable, the sweet promise of fig leaves ripening in the warm night. It mingles with the rosemary, creating a softness that tugs you forward, a sign that the path still has more to reveal. You rise once more, leaving the terrace behind, and begin following the narrow stone steps that lead higher still toward the crest of the hill, where the island's ancient watchtower waits in the moonlight, keeping silent guard over sea and dreams alike. The stone steps carry you steadily upward, each rise small and unhurried, each landing offering a brief pause where you can feel the night air brushing against your skin. The higher you go, the more the sounds of the harbor soften until they are only a faint memory beneath you. What remains is the rhythm of your breath and the whisper of the wind threading through the hills. At last, the path opens onto a crest where the old watchtower stands. Its circular stone walls rise solid and quiet against the moonlit sky, weathered but strong as if the centuries have been folded into its very stones. You approach slowly, your hand brushing along the rough surface, cool to the touch, each ridge holding echoes of those who once kept watch from here. The rosemary motif greets you again, drifting through the air, but here it feels different. No longer sweet or sharp, but grounding, ancient, as though the scent itself has been woven into the tower's long vigil. You breathe it in deeply, and the fragrance seems to carry whispers of sailors setting out at dawn, of merchants arriving with sails full of wind, of nights like this one, when the moonlit sea stretched into eternity. You circle the tower, finding a low wall where you can sit. The stone is cool and steady beneath you, and from this height the view unfolds in every direction. To the east, the harbor glimmers calm and cradled like a silver bowl. To the west, the land stretches into rolling hills and terraced fields, the shadows of olive groves and fig trees soft against the night. You close your eyes, letting the breeze wash across your face. It carries rosemary again, but now mingled with wild thyme and the faint trace of pine from the inland forests. Each layer of scent adds another voice to the chorus of the night, simple, timeless soothing. For a moment, you picture the tower as it once was, a lone figure standing where you are now, keeping watch over the horizon, listening for the sea's signals in the dark. Perhaps they too breathed this same rosemary, tasted this same salt on the air, and found comfort in knowing the island was safe beneath the stars. You feel a kinship across time, the quiet link of shared breath, shared stillness, shared night. The moon is high now, casting long silver paths across the sea. The water gleams like glass, every ripple sparkling faintly, as though stars themselves have fallen into it. You notice how the stillness is never empty. There is always a movement, a shimmer, a rhythm, soft yet alive. And you realize your own breath has become part of that rhythm. From the tower's shadow, a soft sound rises, the rustle of a small bird nesting in the stones, its wings shifting gently as it settles into sleep. The simple sound reminds you that even in ancient places, life continues in the smallest ways. You smile, letting the bird's presence draw you further into the moment, further into peace. The rosemary returns once more, this time as a warmth in your chest, as though the fragrance has moved inside you. It mingles with the steadiness of the tower, the openness of the sea, the softness of the night, and you realize it has become more than a scent. It has become a thread weaving you to this place, anchoring you even as you drift into stillness. You sit a little longer, breathing, listening, resting in the tower's company, and then gently, your gaze turns inland, where a faint path winds down toward a valley. You can just make out a cluster of lights, small, golden, flickering, perhaps a village preparing to sleep, or perhaps a gathering waiting for you to arrive. You rise once more, stepping away from the tower. The rosemary lingers, following you like a quiet companion. And with each step toward the valley, you feel the island drawing you deeper into its story, guiding you toward the next chapter of the night. The path slopes downward and your steps fall in a slow, steady rhythm. The air grows warmer again as you leave the height of the tower, the breeze gentler, carrying new scents from the valley below. Rosemary lingers, but now it blends with the sweetness of fig trees and the earthy perfume of tilled soil cooling in the night. You walk along a narrow lane edged by low stone walls. Each stone seems placed with care, stacked by hand, long ago. Their surfaces softened by moss and time. You run your hand along the wall as you go, its surface cool and textured, grounding you with each touch. Ahead, the land unfolds in terraces, small fields dotted with olive groves, grapevines trailing across the slopes, and fig trees heavy with summer's ripening fruit. The moonlight spills over everything like pale silver paint, smoothing every edge, every shadow. It feels as though the island has been wrapped in calm just for this moment. The rosemary motif rises again, this time from a cluster of shrubs growing wild along the path. Their stems are tall and bushy leaves shimmering slightly in the moonlight. You brush your fingers gently against them as you pass, and the fragrance bursts warm and green, filling the night air with comfort. It clings to your skin, earthy and alive, as if the island wants you to carry it with you. Somewhere nearby, you hear the soft tinkle of bells. You pause, listening, and soon you see them. A small herd of goats moving slowly across the hillside, their bells chiming softly in the silence. A shepherd walks behind them, his lantern swinging gently, casting small circles of golden light on the stones. He nods as he passes, no words exchanged, only the quiet understanding of two travelers sharing the same night. You watch as the herd disappears down the slope, their bells fading into the distance. The silence that follows feels even deeper, richer, as though the night has taken a slow breath in and is now holding it with you. You continue onward, and the path brings you to a small bridge. It arches over a dry stream bed, its stones worn smooth by time. You pause at the center, resting your hands on the cool surface, and look up at the sky. The stars stretch wide, unbroken, each one steady in the dark. For a moment, you imagine them as rosemary blossoms, tiny and pale, scattered across the heavens. Each one a reminder of how even the smallest things can light the night. You close your eyes and breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the layered scents of the valley rosemary, fig earth, and distant sea air. As you exhale, you feel your shoulders ease, your body growing lighter, as though each breath carries away the weight of the day. A memory drifts to you unbidden of small-town nights back home. Perhaps a summer evening sitting on a porch, the smell of herbs from a neighbor's garden, the sound of cicadas humming in the dark. That simple comfort echoes here even across the sea, reminding you that peace is universal, carried in the smallest details of the night. The path continues winding gently downward, leading you toward a cluster of golden lights in the distance, a village perhaps waiting quietly in its sleep. You sense the promise of warmth there, of voices hushed around a table of bread, cooling in the night air, of rosemary sprigs tucked into clay pots by the door. You step off the bridge, your footsteps slow and steady. The night grows softer, as though each moment is cushioning you further into rest. And as the lights of the village come closer, you feel the island drawing you into its embrace, ready to reveal another layer of its dream. The path curves gently, and soon the glow of lanterns grows brighter. Each light flickers softly golden against the whitewashed walls of a village tucked into the valley. The air is warmer here, carrying with it the mingled scents of bread baked earlier in the day, of figs left on windowsills, and always that familiar trace of rosemary drifting like a quiet thread through everything. You step into the first narrow street. The cobblestones are smooth, softened by centuries of footsteps, each one echoing faintly beneath your shoes. Above, balconies lean close across the lane, their iron railings draped with vines, small flower pots lined along the edges. A cat stretches lazily in the shadows, its fur glowing silver under the moonlight, before it curls into itself again. The rosemary motif greets you once more, this time rising from clay pots outside doorways. Each sprig small but vibrant, tended with care, as though every household has offered its own blessing to the night. You pause at one doorway, brushing your fingers across the leaves. The fragrance is warm, almost peppery now, rich and familiar, like the memory of a meal shared with family. Further along, you hear a low hum of voices. Following the sound, you pass a small courtyard where a wooden gate stands half open. Inside, a family lingers at a long wooden table, the remains of supper still before them. The soft glow of an oil lamp lights their faces as they talk quietly. Laughter drifting now and then into the air. A child leans against her mother's shoulder, her eyes heavy with sleep. A sprig of rosemary tucked behind her ear, as if it were the most natural adornment in the world. You move on gently, leaving them undisturbed. The street opens into a small square, its stones smooth and pale by batterings over countless seasons. Daidas. In the center stands a fountain, its basin filled with clear water that reflects the moonlight like a silver mirror. The trickle is soft, steady, a rhythm that feels like the heartbeat of the village itself. You sit on the fountain's edge, letting the cool stone support you. Your fingers trail in the water, its touch refreshing, almost silky. The rosemary lingers in the air, blending now with the mineral freshness of the fountain, the sweetness of fig trees nearby, the faint tang of the sea carried all the way from the harbor. Every scent, every sound feels carefully placed, as though the night has prepared this harmony just for you. For a moment, you let your mind drift. You think of quiet evenings back home, perhaps sitting on a porch swing with the night humming softly around you, a cup of tea cooling in your hands. That same comfort is here thousands of miles away, reminding you that peace can be found wherever the night invites you to pause. From the corner of the square, a small bakery rests, with its shutters half closed. Yet through the opening, you see a baker within kneading dough for the morning bread. The smell of flour and yeast rises, faintly mingled with the rosemary he has tucked into a bundle near the counter. He glances up as you pass, offering a simple nod, a gesture as timeless as the island itself. Quiet, welcome without words. You leave the square, moving slowly along another lane that winds upward through the village. The lanterns grow fewer, the voices fade, and silence returns deeper now, carrying you into stillness. The rosemary motif drifts one last time, softer than before, like a lullaby woven into the air. A scent that feels less like a plant and more like a promise that wherever you walk tonight, peace will walk with you. At the end of the lane, the houses fall away again and the path opens toward the countryside once more. Beyond the rooftops, you glimpse the rolling fields, bathed in silver light, waiting for you to wander deeper into their quiet embrace. And so you step forward, leaving the village behind, carrying with you the warmth of its lanterns, the calm of its fountain, and the lingering memory of rosemary at every door. You step beyond the last whitewashed houses, and the silence deepens around you. The countryside opens wide, rolling out beneath the moonlight in gentle waves of meadow and stone. The village lights fade behind you until they are only a warm memory, and ahead the land stretches unbroken, silvered by the night. The path beneath your feet is older here, lined with low stone walls on either side. Their rough surfaces gleam faintly. Each stone stacked carefully by hands long gone. You trail your fingers along them, cool and grounding, as if touching the very bones of the island. The rosemary motif greets you once more, but here it is wild, untamed. Shrubs rise from the edges of the path, taller and more sprawling, their leaves shimmering in the moonlight. The fragrance is strong, bracing, mingling with the sweet scent of wild thyme and the faint peppery edge of sage carried on the breeze. You breathe it in, and the air feels alive, clearing your thoughts, filling your chest with freshness. You walk slowly, unhurried. Each step is accompanied by the sounds of the countryside, the gentle chirp of crickets hidden in the grass, the distant hoot of an owl calling from an olive grove, the soft rustle of leaves swaying in the night air. Every sound feels placed with care, never startling, always soothing, like the earth itself is singing you into calm. The path widens and soon you find yourself in a meadow. Tall grasses sway lightly, their tips silver under the moon. Scattered among them are wildflowers, their colors softened in the night, but still glowing faintly like tiny lanterns rooted in the earth. You pause to brush your hand across them, their petals cool and delicate against your skin, leaving behind a whisper of fragrance. In the distance, you notice a circle of stones rising from the field, ancient, weathered, half buried by time. You walk toward them, the grass brushing softly against your legs until you stand within the circle itself. The stones are tall, quiet, their shadows long and gentle in the moonlight. You can feel their presence, the way they anchor the meadow with a silence deeper than the night. You sit on one of the lower stones, resting your palms against its surface. It is cool but steady, as though the stone itself is alive with memory. You imagine generations before you standing here, gathering under the same moon, breathing the same rosemary-scented air. A thread of connection stirs in you, linking you softly to a line of travelers who once paused here just as you are now. The rosemary returns faint at first, then stronger, carried on a breeze that moves through the meadow, stirring the grasses into a slow ripple like the surface of water. The fragrance fills the circle of stones, blending with the earthiness of soil and the sweetness of wildflowers. It feels like an offering, a gift of the land to anyone willing to sit quietly and receive it. You close your eyes, breathing in slowly, letting the rosemary and wild herbs settle deep inside you. As you exhale, you feel your body loosen, your muscles soften, your thoughts ease into stillness. The meadow holds you gently, the stones steady around you, the night infinite above you. And as you sit there, you notice something, the sound of the sea, faint but present, carried across the land. It reminds you that though you have wandered inland, the harbor and its lullaby still reach you, tying every part of the island together, every breath, every step into one unbroken dream. When you open your eyes, the meadow seems even softer, the grasses swaying like a slow tide. The moonlight spills across the stones, and beyond them, a faint trail leads deeper into the countryside toward a grove of trees whose shadows wait in stillness. You rise, brushing your hand once more across the rosemary as you pass, carrying its fragrance with you as you follow the trail onward, ready to discover what the grove will reveal. The trail narrows as you leave the meadow, grasses falling away, replaced by the silhouettes of trees rising close together. Their trunks are dark pillars in the moonlight, their branches reaching skyward as though they are holding up the stars themselves. You step into the grove, and at once the air changes cooler, stiller, hushed, as though the trees are guardians of something sacred within. The earth beneath your feet is soft, cushioned with fallen leaves and pine needles. Each step is silent grounding, like walking deeper into a dream. The breeze has quieted here, but the rosemary motif remains, carried not in the air but from your memory of the meadow behind you. You sense it within you now, as if the fragrance has taken root in your breath, guiding you gently forward. A small clearing opens ahead, bathed in silver light. In its center, a single tree stands apart, an ancient olive tree, its trunk twisted and wide branches spreading outward like open arms. Beneath it, the ground is strewn with stones shaped into a simple circle, almost like a gathering place, or perhaps a sanctuary forgotten by time. You walk slowly into the clearing, drawn toward the olive tree. Its bark is gnarled, but strong, rough beneath your fingertips as you trace the patterns carved by centuries. You lean against it for a moment, feeling the quiet power of its roots deep in the earth, steady and unwavering. The tree seems to breathe with you, its leaves rustling softly as though in answer. The rosemary returns again, but here it feels luminous. You realize it is growing at the base of the olive tree, small clusters of green sprigs sprouting from the stones, their blossoms pale in the moonlight. Their fragrance rises upward, blending with the deep, earthy scent of the olive, the cool dampness of the soil, the faint sweetness of the night air. It feels layered whole, as though every part of the island has come together in this single breath. You kneel beside the rosemary, brushing your hand across the leaves. The fragrance bursts warm and alive, and with it comes a wave of memory, not sharp but tender, of kitchens where rosemary crackled in pans, of gardens tended with care, of evenings where the simplest meal was a feast because it was shared. You realize that this island, and perhaps the world itself, is stitched together by such small, enduring gestures. You close your eyes, letting the fragrance carry you deeper, and in the stillness, you feel a presence not of people, but of the land itself, ancient and watchful. The stones around the tree, the olive branches above the rosemary, blooming at its roots, all of it feels like a circle of welcome, a quiet embrace offered without words. Your breath slows. You inhale, and the rosemary fills you, expanding your chest with lightness. You exhale, and with it, you release the remnants of the day, the weight of thought, the tangle of worry. Each cycle feels like a cleansing, as though the island itself is breathing with you, guiding you toward rest. Above the branches sway gently leaves shimmering in the moonlight. Between them, the stars scatter clear and bright, a tapestry that stretches endlessly. For a moment, you feel as though the sky itself is lowering towards you, its vastness wrapping around you like a blanket. You are both small and infinite, rooted and unbound, a part of the night's quiet wonder. The rosemary glows in your mind now, no longer just a plant, but a symbol of belonging, of continuity, of memory carried through time. You sense that you are not the first to sit in this clearing, not the first to breathe this fragrance under the olive tree. Others before you have paused here perhaps centuries ago, and the island has remembered them all. Tonight, it remembers you as well. You rest against the tree, your eyes heavy, your body loosening into the earth beneath you. The clearing holds you gently steady and timeless, and for a moment, you feel as though you could drift into dreams right here beneath the stars. But beyond the grove, the path continues, and you know the night has more to reveal, more layers of beauty waiting to be uncovered. Slowly you rise, carrying the scent of rosemary within you like a lantern, a quiet light to guide you forward. You step back into the shadows of the trees, leaving the clearing behind, and follow the faint trail deeper into the island where the night waits, with more secrets bathed in silver. The grove thins as you walk, branches, parting shadows softening, until the air shifts once more, touched now by the vast openness of the sea. You hear it before you see it, the slow, steady rhythm of waves meeting stone, a heartbeat that has echoed through Menorca for ages. The trail curves toward the cliffs, and soon the trees fall away entirely. Ahead, the land drops into darkness, the great sweep of the Mediterranean stretching out silver and endless beneath the moon. You pause at the edge, the wind rising gently to greet you, cool and salted, brushing across your face like a tender hand. The rosemary motif drifts back, carried faintly on the breeze, but now it feels sharpened by the sea air, fresh and bracing, clearing every thought. It blends with the salt and the faint mineral tang of stone, forming a fragrance as pure as the night itself. You breathe it in, and your chest opens wide, filled with both calm and wonder. You step closer to the cliff's edge, where the stone beneath your feet is rough and ancient, smoothed in places by centuries of wind and rain. The moonlight casts a wide silver path across the water, leading outward as though inviting you to follow. Each wave that rises and falls catches the light, shimmering like molten glass before dissolving back into darkness. For a moment, you let yourself simply listen. The sea's rhythm, slow, steady, infinite. It feels less like sound and more like presence, a vastness that holds you gently, reminding you that you are safe within its embrace. As you gaze outward, memories drift into your mind, perhaps, of quiet nights near water, back home, sitting by a lake or a slow river, hearing the lap of waves against the shore. That same deep comfort is here magnified by the expanse of the sea, timeless and vast. You notice a small stone bench set into the cliffside, worn smooth as though countless travelers have rested here to watch the same moonlit water. You sit, the stone cool beneath you, steadying you like an anchor. The rosemary rises once more, now subtle, blending seamlessly with the sea air, as if it has become part of the ocean itself. Above, the stars shine brighter, unbroken by any roof or branch. You tilt your head back and see them scattered across the sky, a map without borders. For a moment, you imagine each star as a droplet of rosemary oil scattered across the heavens, releasing calm into the night. From below, a new sound rises, the cry of seabirds settling onto the cliffs, their voices soft and plaintive, carried on the wind. It is not a call of alarm, but of rest, of belonging, as if they too are lulled into sleep by the sea's endless song. You close your eyes, breathing deeply, letting the scents and sounds layer together: rosemary, saltstone, waves, stars. Each inhale draws them into you. Each exhale softens you further into stillness. And then, as if guided by the moon, you open your eyes to see a faint path winding further along the cliffs. Its stones gleam pale, catching the light like a ribbon leading onward. You sense there is more to discover, more quiet beauty waiting just beyond the bend. You rise from the bench, brushing your hand gently across a sprig of rosemary, growing in a crack of the cliff, resilient, steadfast, blooming where stone meets sea. The fragrance follows you as you begin walking once more, the sea's voice at your side, guiding you deeper into the island's moonlit embrace. The path winds along the cliff, each curve opening to new stretches of sea, each rise carrying you deeper into the night's embrace. The stone beneath your feet is firm, reassuring, but softened by moss in places cool against your steps. The air is rich here, filled with salt, with the faint mineral fragrance of rock warmed by day, and always, that trace of rosemary drifting like a companion at your side. The moon follows you high above, painting silver trails across the water. Sometimes the waves sparkle, sometimes they darken, but always they move with the same rhythm, unhurried, eternal. You walk in silence, listening, and the sea feels less like distance and more like breath itself alive within you. After a time, you notice the path dipping downward, winding between two shoulders of rock, narrowing as though leading you into a secret. The air grows calmer here, the wind softened, as if hushed by the cliffs themselves. You descend slowly, each step echoing faintly against stone until the path opens suddenly, and there before you lies a small hidden cove. The beach is crescent-shaped, its sand pale under the moonlight, kissed by gentle waves that arrive in silence and recede just as softly. The water is clear, glowing faintly with the silver touch of the moon, each ripple delicate as glass. You pause at the edge, breath caught, for it feels as though you've stumbled upon a dream, a place not meant to be found but offered to you tonight alone. The rosemary motif greets you here in a new way, not from shrubs or pots, but from the memory you carry deep within. As you breathe, you realize the air smells only of sea and salt, yet the rosemary is still present, alive inside your chest, glowing like an ember. It feels like the island has entrusted you with it now, asking you to keep it as your own. You step onto the sand, its grains cool against your feet, each one shaped by tides across endless seasons. The waves lap gently, brushing the shore in a rhythm like a lullaby. You kneel, let the water wash across your hand. It is cool, silky, alive with the pull of the tide. For a moment, you feel as though the sea itself is greeting you, drawing you into its calm. You sit where sand meets stone, letting the cove hold you. Above, the cliffs rise, protective and quiet, their shapes softened by the moon. The world feels enclosed, safe, as though the island has folded its arms around you. The rosemary within you glows warmer, weaving itself with the hush of waves until the two become indistinguishable, fragrance and sound joining into one gentle presence. A memory drifts to you of another quiet shore, perhaps a lake back home where you once watched the water ripple in moonlight. The way silence was never empty but full of the smallest sounds, insects humming, leaves stirring, water moving against stone. That same fullness is here, magnified by the sea, and it fills you with gratitude, with awe, with belonging. You lean back onto the sand, gazing upward. The stars spread vast, each one steady, each one shining as if it were watching you. For a moment, you feel that you are not just looking at the night, but that the night is looking back, vast, infinite, yet tender. The rosemary inside you seems to bloom, releasing comfort that touches every part of your body, loosening each muscle, softening each thought. You breathe in deeply, hold for a moment, then exhale slowly, letting the rhythm of the waves set your pace. Inhale, rosemary, memory, moonlight. Exhale, release, surrender, peace. Again and again until it feels like your breath and the cove's tides are one. Time blurs. Perhaps minutes pass, perhaps longer, but when you rise, you feel lighter, as though the sea has taken the weight of the day and carried it away. At the far end of the cove, a narrow arch of stone leads onward, a passage carved by the sea itself. Through it, you glimpse a faint path, moonlit and waiting. You step toward it, carrying with you the memory of the hidden cove, the rosemary glowing softly within you, and the lullaby of waves echoing in your heart. Beyond the arch, another chapter of the island's dream waits to unfold. You pass beneath the arch of stone. The air cools as you walk, the sound of the sea echoing softly through the passage. Each step is accompanied by a hush, as though the island itself is holding its breath while you move from one world to another. Emerging on the other side, you find yourself in a small coastal valley. Its walls rise on either side, protective and curved, while the moon above shines directly into its heart. The ground is carpeted with grasses, their tips silver, bending gently with the night breeze. At the valley's edge, a spring trickles quietly, its water gathering into a pool that reflects the sky with perfect stillness. The rosemary motif greets you here in a new form, shrubs clustered near the spring, their blossoms pale and luminous under the moonlight. Their fragrance mingles with the freshness of running water, a harmony of earth and herb, of root and flow. You breathe deeply, and the air feels both grounding and cleansing, as though it is meant to wash through every part of you. You kneel beside the spring, cupping cool water into your hands. The taste is pure, lightly sweet, touched with minerals. As it slips across your tongue, you sense it carries the memory of the land, rain, soil, stone, and rosemary roots, drawing it upward to bloom. The sensation lingers, simple yet profound, and you smile at the thought that something so small could carry such completeness. A soft sound stirs in the valley, the flutter of wings. You look up to see a pair of night birds gliding above their silhouettes, graceful against the stars. They circle once, twice, then settle on the valley's edge. Their presence calm, unhurried. Their calls are low melodic, blending with the spring's trickle and the rosemary's breath. You sit on the grass, its blades cool against your palms. The valley cradles you, its walls curved like sheltering arms. The rosemary grows close, its fragrance not distant now, but intimate, wrapping around you as though it is part of your very breath. You realize that the motif you've carried since the harbor has now become inseparable from you, no longer a passing scent, but a presence that belongs to you. As you rest, you recall quiet valleys back home, perhaps places where fields stretched wide under starlight, where the sound of water running through creeks brought stillness to summer nights. That same peace is here, magnified by the moon, made luminous by the rosemary, shaped tenderly by the land itself. The pool reflects the stars, unbroken, as though the sky has lowered itself to earth. You lean closer, seeing your reflection within it, softened by moonlight, framed by silver grass and rosemary blossoms. For a moment, you feel not just like a traveler, but like part of the island itself, a living detail in its quiet story. Your breath slows again. Inhale rosemary and water, stars and moonlight. Exhale, release stillness, surrender. Each cycle draws you deeper until your body feels lighter, as though you could drift into the reflection itself, floating between sky and earth. From the far side of the valley, you notice a faint glow, not from the moon, but from lanterns beyond the ridge. A hint of warmth, of human presence waiting quietly in the distance. Perhaps a small farmhouse, or a retreat, or simply another village folded into the night. You rise slowly, brushing your hands against the rosemary sprigs, their fragrance clinging warmly to your skin. The valley feels reluctant to release you, yet it also guides you onward. You follow the narrow path that climbs the ridge, each step gentle, each breath infused with the calm you've gathered here. At the top, you pause one last time, looking back. The valley lies below like a silver bowl, the pool gleaming, the rosemary glowing pale at its edge. You carry the memory forward, knowing it will stay with you even as you step into what waits beyond. And so you turn toward the faint lantern light, ready for the next chapter of Menorca's moonlit dream. The climb up the ridge is gentle, the earth soft beneath your steps, the night air cool and tender around you. Each breath is easy, flowing with the rhythm of the path. As you rise higher, the glow you glimpsed before grows brighter, warm lantern light spilling softly across stone walls. At last you crest the ridge and see it clearly. A small farmhouse tucked into the hillside, its walls pale and worn smooth with age. A wooden door stands half open, and above it hangs a lantern that glows golden against the silver of the moon. The sight stirs something in you, a sense of homecoming, even in a place you've never been. You pause at the threshold and the rosemary motif greets you once more. Sprigs woven into a wreath above the door, their fragrance rich and comforting. It feels like a welcome, a blessing carried on the air, inviting you to step inside. You breathe it in, and the scent feels different now, not wild or ancient, but warm, familiar, like a hand resting gently on your shoulder. Inside the farmhouse glows with quiet life. A fire flickers in the hearth, its flames low but steady, sending warmth through the room. The scent of baked bread lingers mingled with rosemary sprigs laid across the table. Wooden beams overhead creak softly, the sound like a lullaby hummed by the house itself. You sit at the table, the wood smooth beneath your palms. A clay bowl rests before you, filled with simple food, bread olives, perhaps a drizzle of oil and rosemary sprinkled lightly over it all. You taste a piece and the flavor blooms earthy, fragrant grounding. It is nourishment not just for the body, but for the spirit. As you eat slowly, you hear the quiet movements of life around you. A dog shifting in sleep near the hearth, the soft sigh of the wind brushing against shutters, the gentle crackle of the fire. Each sound is small, yet together they form a chorus of peace, of belonging. The rosemary rises again, woven into every detail in the bread and the fire smoke and the wreath above the door. It is no longer just a fragrance, but a presence of welcome, a thread binding this place together. You feel embraced by it, as though the island itself has drawn you into its heart. A memory stirs of home, of evenings where a kitchen light glowed against the dark, where bread or soup simmered quietly, where voices softened as night drew close. That same comfort fills you here across the sea, across time. You realize that peace has no borders. It lives wherever hearts open, wherever rosemary grows by the door. The farmhouse grows quieter still. You lean back, your body loose, your breath slow. The fire softens, the lantern flickers, and you feel the weight of the day dissolve into the warmth of this place. And then gently you notice a window at the far side of the room. Through it, the moonlight spills in, casting a silver path across the floor. It feels like a reminder that while the farmhouse offers rest, the night still holds more to reveal. You rise slowly, carrying with you the warmth, the bread, the rosemary woven into memory. At the door you pause once more, inhaling the fragrance of the wreath. It feels like a blessing, like a promise, that no matter where you wander, peace will follow. Stepping back into the night, the lantern's glow fades behind you. Ahead, the moonlit path continues, leading gently away from the farmhouse and into the open fields beyond. The rosemary lingers within you, a quiet flame as you follow the road into the deeper stillness of the island night. The lantern glow fades slowly behind you, until only the silver light of the moon guides your steps. The fields open wide ahead, their grasses bending in soft waves beneath the breeze. The night feels calmer now, the sounds gentler, as though the island is easing you into rest after sharing its secrets. The path is smooth here, lined with low stone walls that curve like soft boundaries across the land. You walk slowly, unhurried. Each step falls into rhythm with your breath. Inhale rosemary lingering within you. Exhale a release into the stillness around you. The air is cool, touched with the faint sweetness of hay, the damp freshness of soil, and always the rosemary motif now softened. It drifts from wild sprigs growing along the path, their blossoms shimmering pale. The fragrance feels quieter now, less insistent, like a whisper reminding you that you are safe, at ease, at home in the night. You pause at a small gate in the stone wall. Opening it gently, you step into a meadow where the grasses are tall, swaying gently as if the earth itself is breathing. You wade slowly through, brushing your hands across the tips, cool feather-light touches against your palms. The sound they make is soft, like rain falling in slow motion, surrounding you in a hush that deepens your calm. In the distance, you hear the faint ringing of a bell, not hurried, but slow, steady, like a lullaby. Perhaps from another herd moving in the night, or from a chapel hidden among the hills. The sound is far away, softened by the air, but it carries comfort. It reminds you of evenings back home when church bells drifted across small towns at dusk, their tones lingering long after they stopped. That same echo of belonging folds into you here. You sit down in the meadow, the grasses cushioning you, their scent mingling with the rosemary that lingers on the breeze. You lean back, gazing upward. The stars are softer, now blurred slightly by a thin veil of clouds, as though the sky itself is resting. The moon glows steady, casting silver light across the field, making each blade of grass a thread in a luminous tapestry. The rosemary drifts stronger for a moment, carried by a breeze that brushes your face, gentle as a hand smoothing your brow. You close your eyes and breathe it in deeply. The fragrance feels almost like breath itself, cool as you inhale, warm as you exhale, guiding you into a rhythm slower than thought. Your body loosens further, sinking into the grass. The earth feels steady beneath you, solid yet forgiving, holding your weight with ease. You notice the way your heartbeat matches the hush of the meadow, steady, calm, unbroken. Every sound around you, the rustle of grass, the bell's faint echo, the sigh of the breeze blends into a single, quiet lullaby. You let your mind drift with it, thoughts dissolving into images like ripples fading on a pond. You see flashes of earlier moments, the harbor, the watchtower, the hidden cove. Each one wrapped now in the fragrance of rosemary, bound together into a single thread. It feels as though the entire journey has been preparing you for this stillness, this pause, this surrender. And as you lie there, you notice something unexpected. Fireflies glimmering in the meadow, their lights faint but steady, rising and falling with the grasses. They move slowly, gracefully, as if choreographed by the night itself. Each glow is like a heartbeat, pulsing gently, a reminder that life continues in peace, in quiet, in beauty. Time stretches unbroken. The night holds you as surely as the earth does, every detail working together to soothe you deeper. You breathe once more, rosemary filling your chest, and exhale into silence. When you open your eyes again, you notice the path continuing beyond the meadow, curving gently toward the hills. A faint shimmer suggests water ahead, perhaps a pond or a small lake waiting under the moon. You rise slowly, carrying the calm of the meadow with you, the fireflies' glow lingering in your memory, and the rosemary fragrance like a steady heartbeat within you. The path welcomes you forward, guiding you toward the water's edge where deeper stillness waits. The path carries you gently beyond the meadow. The grasses grow shorter, the ground firmer, as though the earth is guiding you with a steady hand. Ahead, the faint shimmer you glimpsed earlier grows brighter, a silver glow pooling at the base of the hills. At last you step into a clearing, and there it is, a still lake, perfectly calm beneath the moon. Its surface reflects the sky like polished glass, every star doubled, every cloud mirrored, so that the boundary between earth and heaven seems to dissolve. You pause, breath soft, as though afraid to disturb the perfection before you. The rosemary motif greets you again, carried by the breeze that moves gently across the water. The fragrance is quieter now, delicate, almost translucent, yet no less present. It blends with the cool dampness of the lake air, becoming a fragrance of stillness itself, pure, transparent, like silence made tangible. You breathe it in, and your body loosens further, your thoughts scattering like petals across water. You walk to the shore and kneel. The sand here is fine and pale, cool against your fingers as you trail them along its surface. You lean forward, cupping the lake's water in your hands, bringing it to your face. It is cool, refreshing, slipping across your skin like a gentle veil. You close your eyes and let the sensation linger, a caress from the island itself. Sitting at the water's edge, you notice how the sounds have changed. No longer the steady crash of waves or the creak of masts, but softer, subtler tones, the quiet chirp of insects hidden in reeds, the faint plop of a fish breaking the surface, the whisper of wind brushing ripples across the lake. Each sound is tiny on its own, but together they weave into a fabric of calm, seamless, unbroken. The rosemary lingers in the air, but now it seems to rest within you, inseparable from your breath. You inhale slowly, feeling it expand through your chest, down into your belly. You exhale gently, noticing how the fragrance seems to dissolve, tension thought weight. The cycle repeats, each breath slower, each moment deeper, until your body feels suspended between water and sky. You lean back onto the shore, the earth beneath you, steady and cool. Above, the stars shimmer, below their reflections glow. For a moment, you cannot tell which way is up, whether you are lying on the ground or floating in the night. The lake seems to have erased all boundaries between you and the sky, between breath and water, between presence and dream. A soft memory drifts to you, perhaps of quiet nights, camping by water back home, when you lay awake listening to frogs, watching moonlight ripple on the surface, feeling safe in the vastness. That same safety wraps around you here, magnified by Rosemary's tender presence, reminding you that you are never far from comfort, never apart from belonging. Fireflies appear again, this time, skimming the edge of the lake, their lights mirrored perfectly in the water. They drift slowly, glowing, then fading as if marking the rhythm of your breath. Their glow feels like a lullaby, written in light, guiding you deeper into rest. The rosemary rises one last time, no longer sharp or sweet, but utterly soft, like the memory of a fragrance more than the fragrance itself. It becomes part of the silence, part of the lake, part of you. You realize it has led you here not only as a companion, but as a guide, bringing you to this place of perfect stillness. Time fades. You do not know how long you lie there, only that every moment feels endless and tender. The lake, the sky, the rosemary, the stars all blend into one vast calm, wrapping you in the gentlest of dreams. And yet, when you finally open your eyes again, you notice the path continues winding upward through the hills beyond the lake. A faint silver glow marks its way, promising yet deeper peace waiting further ahead. You rise slowly, carrying the lake's stillness within you, the rosemary fragrance etched into your breath. With each step along the moonlit path, you feel yourself sinking deeper, softer into the night's embrace. The path leaves the lakeshore and begins to rise again. Each step is gentle, slow, unhurried. The earth beneath your feet is steady, the night air cool and scented with dew. The stars above glow brighter as you climb, guiding you upward, as if each one were a lantern waiting to show the way. The rosemary motif follows you once more, not from a single plant, but from within your breath, within your skin. You realize it has become inseparable from you, a quiet companion woven into every part of your being. When you inhale, it is there, warm, grounding. When you exhale, it lingers, soft and reassuring, like a voice that whispers, "You are exactly where you are meant to be." The climb is gradual, and soon you reach the crest of the hill. You step onto a wide plateau, open and bathed in silver. Before you, Menorca unfurls in its entirety, the rolling fields, the scattered villages, the dark lines of olive groves, the cliffs meeting the endless sea, and there, glowing softly in the distance, the moonlit harbor where your journey began. You pause, breath caught not in surprise but in awe. The sight is vast yet tender. Every place you have walked tonight is part of this view, the tower standing in its silence, the meadow where fireflies drifted, the cove hidden like a secret, the farmhouse glowing with warmth. All of them are here, woven into the island's fabric, connected by moonlight and memory. You sit upon a low stone at the plateau's edge. The stone is cool grounding, anchoring you as your gaze stretches outward. The sea gleams silver, its surface endless yet gentle, each wave a shimmer of calm. Above the moon glows full and steady, casting a light so clear it feels like blessing. The rosemary rises again, but this time it feels complete. Not sharp, not fleeting, not hidden, whole. Its fragrance carries every nuance you've encountered. The wildness from the cliffs, the warmth from the farmhouse, the sweetness from the village, the stillness from the lake. All of it is here blended into one fragrance of belonging. You close your eyes, breathing deeply. Inhale the whole island. Exhale the whole night. Inhale memory connection calm. Exhale release stillness peace. Each breath slows, each moment deepens, until your body feels as boundless as the view before you. For a moment you sense the island breathing with you. Its stones, its waters, its fields, its rosemary shrubs, all inhaling, all exhaling in rhythm with your heart. You are not apart from it, but within it, a thread in its ancient tapestry. The thought fills you not with weight, but with lightness, as if to belong is the most effortless thing of all. The silence here is soft, but alive. You hear the faint hush of the sea, below the sigh of wind moving across the plateau, the whisper of grasses swaying in the moonlight. Nothing loud, nothing hurried, just enough sound to remind you that life is here unfolding gently, eternally. You rest, letting the plateau hold you. Time seems to blur again. Perhaps minutes pass, perhaps hours. The night does not measure itself, and neither do you. There is only stillness, only calm, only peace. And then gently you open your eyes to find the path leading downward again. A soft slope that curves toward the harbor, glimmering like a memory waiting to be embraced once more. You rise slowly, carrying the fullness of the view with you, the rosemary fragrance within you, and begin your descent. The harbor you're beginning waits to welcome you back, not as the start of a journey, but as its gentle close. The descent is slow and gentle. Each step down the slope carries you deeper into stillness. The night around you is softer now, as if the island itself is preparing to rest. Ahead, the silver gleam of the harbor widens with every turn of the path, like a dream returning to its beginning. You hear it before you see it fully, the quiet hush of water against stone, the faint creak of wooden masts rocking in the night. The same lullaby that greeted you hours ago now welcomes you back. Unchanged, yet somehow richer, layered with everything you have gathered along the way. At last you step onto the quay once more. The stones are cool beneath your feet, their surfaces glowing faintly in the moonlight. Boats rest in silence, their reflections shimmering in the water. The rosemary motif drifts back for the final time, faint tender, less a fragrance now than a memory of one. It feels as though the island has placed it gently within you so that you may carry it wherever you go. You pause, gazing across the harbor. The moon's silver path stretches outward over the water as though pointing toward dreams that wait beyond the horizon. You breathe in slowly and exhale with ease, your body lighter, your mind calm, your heart steady. The rosemary rests within your breath, the harbor cradles you in silence, and the night folds you into its arms. A sense of gratitude fills you not only for the island but for the simple act of being here, of walking slowly, of noticing the quiet details. You think of lanterns glowing in villages of fireflies, drifting through meadows of the olive tree guarding its circle of stones of the farmhouse, with bread and warmth. All of it lingers now as part of you, woven into your memory like threads of rosemary bound together. The harbor is still. The moon shines steady. Your body feels heavy with comfort, your breath slow and deep, your thoughts soft as ripples fading into glass. You let yourself rest in the quiet knowledge that you are safe, you are welcome, and the night has guided you exactly where you were meant to be. And as your eyes grow heavy, the island itself seems to whisper, "Dream now. The journey is complete." If you enjoyed this journey, you're welcome to join me again whenever you wish. There are many more stories waiting for you, ready to guide you into restful dreams.